In New York City, where wealth can buy everything except dignity, one quiet waitress carried a secret powerful enough to humble a millionaire family, expose cruelty, and change the future of everyone watching. They called her just a server. But that night, she would serve something far greater than food, a reminder that respect has no social class. Aaliyah Carter stood in front of the tall mirror inside the employee lounge's Sterling Crown, Manhattan's most elite restaurant. The type of place where a single dinner bill could feed a family for a month. Her blue uniform apron was freshly ironed, her braids tied neatly back, and her hands lightly trembling, though her face remained steady. She whispered to herself, "Tonight, just breathe. You survived worse than rude customers." She buttoned her collar, slapped her palms together, and straightened her spine. Aaliyah wasn't just a waitress. She was a survivor, a fighter, and a guardian to her younger brother Malik. And tonight, fate had decided she would be tested again. Just then, Victoria Langford walked in. Victoria, blonde designer suit red lipstick, always smelling like expensive roses and sharper attitude. The manager who carried the restaurant like it belonged to her. She paused, eyeing Aaliyah with a disdain she didn't bother to hide. "You," Victoria said, voice sweet like poison. "VIP table tonight. Try not to embarrass us." Aaliyah blinked in confusion. "Me? VIP? I thought my shift was assigned to the garden floor." "Well," Victoria smirked. "Apparently Mr. Caldwell personally requested a waitress who uses her hands to communicate." Her voice dripped sarcasm. Aaliyah's heart skipped. She knew exactly what that meant. Someone noticed her signing. Someone noticed the very thing Victoria hated her using in front of guests. "Yes, ma'am," Aaliyah answered politely. "I'll do my best." Victoria leaned in close, her whisper sharp like broken glass. Your best barely gets you through the door. Remember your place." Aaliyah kept her chin lifted. "My place is wherever I earn it." For a second, just a second, Victoria's eyes twitched with suppressed rage. "Clean table 12. They're the Caldwell family. Billionaires. If a single mistake happens, you'll be back washing dishes for good, if not worse." Aaliyah nodded, hiding the spark of quiet strength in her eyes. She'd learned long ago, when you live through loss, insults don't break you, they sharpen you. The main dining hall shimmered under white crystal chandeliers, gold-lined plates, velvet seats, towering wine shelves. This was not a restaurant. It was a throne room for the rich. Table 12 sat near a floor-to-ceiling window overlooking Manhattan's evening lights. There sat Alexander Caldwell, late 30s, polished, powerful, posture like he owned air itself. His wife, Sabrina, perfectly manicured fingers glued to her phone. And between them, a humble, elegant elderly lady with silver hair and soft eyes, sitting quietly, a hearing device placed behind her ear. But Aaliyah knew the look instantly. She wasn't simply a quiet elder. She was deaf, or nearly so. The way she watched lips carefully, waited for visual cues. Aaliyah had lived the scene before, in hospitals and school meetings with Malik, when he lost part of his hearing to a childhood infection. Aaliyah approached, offering a warm smile. "Good evening. My name is Aaliyah. I'll be serving you tonight." Alexander gave a courteous nod. Sabrina didn't look up, but the elder woman, she looked at Aaliyah, hopeful but uncertain, like she didn't want to assume kindness existed in a place built on pride. Aaliyah gently stepped into her eyesight and signed slowly. "Good evening. It is a pleasure to serve you." Everything stopped. The elderly woman froze. Then her face lit like sunrise. Trembling hands lifted to sign back. "You know sign language?" Aaliyah smiled. "Yes, my brother is deaf hard of hearing." The woman inhaled sharply, emotional. Tears filled her eyes. "I haven't spoken to a server in sign in years." Alexander's fork slipped from his hand. Stunned, Sabrina finally looked up, confused and annoyed, as though she didn't enjoy anyone else having attention. "My grandmother rarely communicates outside family," Alexander said, astonished. Aaliyah bowed her head modestly. "Everyone deserves to be included." The old woman chuckled, signing humorously. "You are a beautiful girl, and brave. Thank you." Aaliyah felt her heart swell. She had spoken love in a language the world often forgets. Across the hall, Victoria watched. Her smile cracked. Jealousy boiled in her chest like acid. Attention, her power, was being stolen. By a young black waitress she tried to keep invisible. Victoria marched over, heels sharp as gunshots. "Is there a problem here?" she asked with fake concern. Alexander frowned. "Problem? Not at all. She's wonderful." Sabrina, irritated, muttered, "She better be. This place charges enough." Aaliyah stayed professional. "Would you like sparkling or still water, ma'am?" "Sparkling," Sabrina waved, already back to texting. And then signed to Grandma. "I will bring you whatever you prefer." "Warm tea," the grandmother signed back. Aaliyah nodded, turned to leave. Victoria grabbed her elbow. "Office, after your shift." Aaliyah locked eyes with her. Calm. Controlled. Yes, ma'am. But Victoria saw something unfamiliar in Aaliyah's eyes. Not fear. Something stronger. Something dangerous to women like her. Unshakable self-worth. Through the night, Aaliyah translated jokes, described meals visually for the grandmother, and made her feel human, seen, cherished. It didn't go unnoticed. Other diners whispered. A chef peeked out. Even the pianist paused, watching the magic unfold. At the end, Alexander said, "You gave my grandmother dignity. That is priceless. What is your last name?" "Carter, sir." "Well, Ms. Carter, consider this the beginning of something meaningful." His grandmother signed with a trembling smile. "Thank you for seeing me." And Aaliyah, heart full, signed back. "You deserve to be seen." Little did she know, that night, her kindness would become her shield and her weapon. And Victoria, she had seen enough to feel threatened. Because nothing scares a small mind more than a soul it cannot break. Aaliyah walked into the staff restroom and splashed cool water on her face. Her pulse was racing, not from fear, but from something unfamiliar tonight. Recognition, respect, meaning. For once, her work felt bigger than tips, orders, or rules. Tonight, she touched the soul. She whispered, looking at herself in the mirror, "You're doing okay. Keep going." But the door swung open. Victoria stood there. No mask, no fake manager smile, just raw irritation. "Enjoying yourself?" Victoria said coldly. Aaliyah wiped her hands calmly. "Just doing my job." "No, you're showing off," Victoria snapped. "This restaurant is about elegance, not sentiment." Aaliyah's brow lifted slightly. "Human connection is not weakness, Ms. Langford." Victoria's eyes narrowed. "You think these people are your friends? You think a rich family will remember Server?" "They already did," Aaliyah answered softly. A vein pulsed in Victoria's forehead. She stepped closer, invading Aaliyah's space. "Listen to me. This restaurant has an image. Polished white tablecloths. Professional staff. Not pity stories and sign language performances." Aaliyah's voice stayed steady. "Sign language is not a performance. It's respect." Victoria scoffed. "Respect? People like you don't get respect. You follow orders. That's your place." Aaliyah inhaled slowly. There it was. The truth Victoria always wanted to spit. But before Aaliyah could answer, a soft knock came. Noah, the senior chef, peeked in. Aaliyah, the Caldwell table requested you again." Victoria stiffened. "They could be served by anyone." "They specifically asked for her," Noah said, voice firm. Aaliyah offered Victoria a calm, polite nod, then walked out, leaving the manager to drown in her own bitterness. The grandmother sat waiting with glowing eyes as Aaliyah approached. She signed gently. "You remind me of my daughter. She passed away years ago. She used to sign to me every night." Aaliyah's heart tightened. "I'm honored you trust me," she signed back. The old woman smiled softly, a smile born from decades of love and loss. Alexander leaned forward. "My grandmother rarely opens up to strangers. You must have a gift." "I just listen with my hands," Aaliyah replied softly. And Sabrina, bored, scrolling, finally muttered, "Or maybe she's just trying too hard." Alexander shot her a sharp look, but Aaliyah remained calm. She signed to the grandmother. "You deserve patience. You deserve time. You deserve to be heard." A tear rolled down the elderly woman's cheek. In a world full of noise, Aaliyah had given her silence with meaning. Other diners had noticed by now. Whispers filled the room. "Look, she's signing to the old lady. She's amazing. That's kindness you can't fake." Phones discreetly filmed, not for drama, but admiration. Aaliyah didn't know yet, but her dignity was going viral in real time. And Victoria saw it. Every whisper, every phone, every respectful glance toward Aaliyah. It was torture to her ego. Hours later, service slowed. The Caldwell family stood to leave. Alexander shook Aaliyah's hand gently. "If you ever need a recommendation, come find me. The world needs workers like you." Sabrina sighed, annoyed. "Are we done praising the waitress?" The grandmother ignored her. She took Aaliyah's hand in both of hers, eyes full of gratitude, and mouthed, "Thank you." Then in sign, "You lifted my heart." Aaliyah's eyes glistened. "You lifted mine too." As they left, diners clapped quietly, respectfully. Not showy, but sincere. Aaliyah stood still, stunned. This wasn't applause for a performance. It was recognition of human worth. But across the hall, Victoria's rage snapped. She stormed toward Aaliyah. "You think this is a show? You think you're the star? You embarrassed me in my own restaurant." Aaliyah steadied herself. "I didn't embarrass you. I respected a customer. You made me look cold. Inhuman. You did that yourself," Aaliyah replied gently. Victoria's jaw clenched. She grabbed a stack of plates from a table and shoved them into Aaliyah's arms. If you're so good at serving, clean tables faster. And don't ever sign again in my dining room. You hear me? Aaliyah held the plates, breathing slowly. I sign wherever someone needs to be seen. Victoria leaned in with venom. You don't belong here. Aaliyah, you are replaceable. Aaliyah's voice didn't shake. Everyone is replaceable at a job, but kindness isn't. For a moment, just one, Victoria's face cracked with shock. Aaliyah placed the plates down slowly, carefully. No weakness, only strength. Excuse me, she said, walking away. I have work to finish. And that terrified Victoria more than any argument could, because a woman who knows her worth is unstoppable. After closing, Aaliyah returned to the office as demanded. Victoria sat at her desk, arms crossed, satisfaction dripping from her eyes like poison ready to spit. You humiliated me, she hissed. You turned my dining room into a charity parade. Aaliyah remained silent. You are done here. I'm writing termination papers. Aaliyah finally spoke. Calm, deadly calm. No, I quit. Victoria blinked, stunned. You quit? You? Aaliyah nodded. I don't work where humanity is unwelcome. Victoria's mouth twisted. And where will you go? What will you do? Scrub floors elsewhere. Aaliyah gathered her bag slowly. I'll rise, like always. Victoria slammed her hands on the desk. Get out. Aaliyah turned, paused at the door. Someday you'll understand. Power isn't controlling people. Power is lifting them. She left without looking back, and the walls of Sterling Crown felt empty the moment her footsteps faded. New York breathed with electricity. Aaliyah stepped out into the night, exhausted but free. She looked up at the skyline. You did good, she whispered to herself. You stood tall. Just then, a black luxury sedan rolled to the curb. The window lowered. A familiar face smiled warmly, eyes filled with pride, not sympathy. But we won't reveal him yet. We only hear his voice. You ready? I've been waiting. Aaliyah allowed herself a soft smile. Yes, tonight, I feel seen. Good, the voice replied gently. Because tomorrow, the world will see you too. The car door opened. Aaliyah stepped inside. The city didn't know it yet, but the waitress nobody respected was about to become someone impossible to ignore. Because when a heart as kind as hers finally receives power, it doesn't seek revenge. It seeks justice. And destiny had just knocked. Morning sunlight spilled to Manhattan's glass towers as Aaliyah stepped out of the sedan. The city buzzed. Taxis honking, people rushing, coffee steam rising into the cold air. The man who opened her car door offered his hand. He was calm, steady, powerful without trying. Elias Bennett, Aaliyah's fiancé, to the world. He was a quiet investor. In reality, the hidden owner of several luxury properties, including the Sterling Crown. The restaurant Aaliyah just walked away from. But people didn't know that because Elias never flaunted power. He earned respect quietly, just like Aaliyah. He kissed her forehead gently. You okay? Aaliyah nodded. I'm free. That's enough. Elias smiled. Freedom deserves celebration. He handed her a sealed envelope. Thick paper. Official stamp. Inside, ownership transfer papers. A restaurant space. Prime NYC location. Fully paid. A gift? No. A recognition. Elias spoke softly. Most people need power to feel strong. You had strength long before power found you. Aaliyah's breath shook. Her eyes watered. You bought a restaurant for me? No, my love. You will run it. I just removed the obstacles. But, Aaliyah, he whispered, you didn't lose a job. You outgrew a cage. Her tears fell freely now, but not from sadness, from rising. For the first time, she felt her future in her hands. Victoria strutted inside, fake confidence dripping like perfume. She had already practiced the speech she bragged to staff. I fired her. I keep this place perfect. But something was wrong. Whispers floated through the restaurant. Are the owners coming today? I heard the board arranged a surprise inspection. Victoria looks nervous. The dining room buzzed. Then the front doors opened. In walked Aaliyah, dressed in a cream blouse, black trousers, posture regal, not a servant now, but a woman who understood her worth. Gasps spread like wildfire. Then Elias entered behind her. The staff's eyes widened. Victoria froze mid-step, color draining from her face. Aaliyah wasn't alone. She was walking in with the owner. Elias stood in the center of the dining hall. Calm, powerful, making silence fall like velvet. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. Thank you all for being here. We have an announcement. Victoria's smile strained. Mr. Bennett, I didn't expect. He held up a hand. She shut instantly. A few nights ago, an employee here demonstrated the dignity, patience, and humanity this restaurant claims to stand for. Murmurs. Curious eyes. Elias continued. Instead of being appreciated, she was insulted, undermined, and disrespected. Aaliyah looked around the room, not with anger, but clarity. This woman, Elias said, turning to her, is the standard you all fail to meet. A hush. Victoria swallowed hard. We didn't. Elias glanced at her only once, and she wilted like a dying rose. A waiter whispered to another, "Bro," she cursed the owner's fiancé. Elias finished. As of today, Aaliyah Carter is no longer staff here. Shocked, Victoria smirked, thinking she'd won. Elias continued, because she will be running her own restaurant, funded and supported by us. He placed his hand gently on Aaliyah's back, proud. The staff gasped. Some smiled. Some looked ashamed. Victoria choked. Wait, her own restaurant? And one more thing, Elias added calmly. Ms. Langford. Victoria's knees weakened. Your employment here is terminated, effective immediately. Silence hit, like a thunderclap. I don't tolerate leaders who break spirits. The room exhaled all at once, a collective justice. Victoria stood trembling. You can't do this. I just did. Security politely stepped near. She backed away, the queen dethroned by her own cruelty. Her heels clicked away like the final ticks of a clock that had run out. Aaliyah addressed the staff herself, voice steady, eyes kind. I don't hold hatred, but I do hold standards. Every person, deaf, blind, rich, poor staff, customers, deserves dignity. Heads nodded, hearts softened. She looked at the younger servers, the ones Victoria bullied most. If you ever need a place where your heart matters as much as your work, my doors will be open. Tears shimmered in more eyes than one. Weeks later, a fresh sign glowed above a cozy storefront in Manhattan. Sparkles Silent Grace Cafe Sparkles, where every voice is heard. Inside, deaf customers ordering with sign language. Young staff respected. Laughter, warmth, humanity. Aaliyah walked table to table, helping guests learn simple signs. Thank you, welcome, peace. And in the corner, the elderly Caldwell grandmother sipped tea, smiling proudly, signing softly. You built a home for souls. Aaliyah signed back. You helped me believe I deserved one. Elias wrapped an arm around her shoulders. You didn't just open a cafe, he whispered. You opened a movement. Aaliyah looked around, heart glowing like sunrise. She didn't win by fighting. She didn't rise by stepping on others. She simply remembered who she was, and the world adjusted. Because true power isn't loud. It's steady, quiet, and unstoppable, just like her.